Okay, boxing fans, right now we're going to talk about James Degale versus Andre Dirrell. This is for the IBF version of the super middleweight title. I am right about that, right? That's off the top of my head.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep.
And we're here with Armando and Paul. We're going to talk about these fighters. We'll get straight on now. Talking to Armando first. Is Degale ready for Andre Dirrell, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better now than never. I mean, I think he's definitely positioned himself to get to, the mandatory, even though Froch, the whole shebang about Froch and this and that. But I mean, who else could he face to set him up for Dirrell? I mean, Dirrell is very elusive. He's very kind of pot shotty a little bit. So there's really nothing else. There's nobody that I think can kind of get him ready for it, and it's kind of a now or never, like a do or die. I think he's as ready as he's gonna be, So that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Paul, what are your thoughts? Is Degale ready for the Andre Dirrell challenge?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't see why he wouldn't be. He's fought everyone you'd expect a world title challenger to fight at this stage in his career. He's fought at British level. He's fought at European level. He fought a couple of fringe world level guys in Gonzalez. Was that his name? Gonzalez, the guy he fought at Wembley?
Yeah, Brandon Gonzalez.
Brandon Gonzalez and Periban. I think that was the other guy.
Marco Antonio Periban.
Yeah, a couple of fringe world level guys, maybe top 15, 20. And it's time to step up now. It's time to see, is Degale really a bona fide world level fighter capable of being world champion, or is he a guy who's just going to fall short? We'll find out now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's definitely ready for the challenge, and as Armando says, it's just do or die now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's going to have to be ready for the challenge. I mean, he's in the fight. They could have pulled him out after the purse bids when Matchroom lost, but they didn't. And that makes everyone suspect that Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Degale is manager, and I suppose his trainer, they all suspect Degale is ready for the Andre Dirrell challenge. I suppose we could say, is Andre Dirrell ready for the James Degale challenge? Do you want to quickly just run through that one quickly? Just a quick yes or no. Armando, is Dirrell ready for Degale?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's faced better, opposition, 5-6 years ago. But that's a different question. But I think he's definitely ready. Do I think they're on the same level? Probably not. But I think he's ready.
Do you think he's ready as well, Paul?
Yeah, the same as Armando, really. He's fought world level guys before, even though it was a long time ago now. And fighting James Degale isn't anything that's going to be daunting for Dirrell. I doubt he's gone into this fight terrified of James Degale or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll move on to the next question then. So, will Andre Dirrell, Armando, be the same fighter he was back in the Super 6? Obviously, this was, I don't know how many, 4, 5 years ago?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. I guess, and I just want to straight out say, the instant where he says he had brain damage or, all sorts of shit from Arthur Abraham, that's just called bullshit on that as well, okay? But your answer on that one?
Well, I mean, he took some time off. Whether you believe, I mean, I don't know if there was ever any medical, examinations, paperwork, reports. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, he hasn't really taken hardly any damage. I mean, it isn't like he's been in any like massive wars. I know the Abraham fight took a lot out of him, sort of. But I think he can probably still be the same. He's preserved himself pretty well. I mean, his opposition probably hasn't been the best since then. I know he's had a couple of fights where I think he stopped a guy in the 4th round, some guy named Nate Brinson. I think I saw that fight on ESPN. And he was a bit more aggressive. He wasn't so elusive. Kind of stayed in the pocket, and actually stopped the guy. And is he the same? I would think so, unless he's like Jermaine Taylor, where he's just fucked in the head. But I don't think so. I think he's got his wits in him. I just think he just didn't want to face anybody in the Super Six, and I think he kind of backed out when stuff got tough. So.
Yeah. So that would suggest he has a lack of heart then and determination maybe. Paul, what are your thoughts? Is he going to be the same fighter or is he going to be not?
I don't see how he could be the same as he was 5-6 years ago in the Super Six. That's not to say that I think he's shot or anything. I think he's still a very, very, very good fighter. But is he going to be as fresh as he was all those years ago? Well, I can't see how someone who's... How old is he now? 31, 32?
I think so, yeah. Around the 30s, yeah.
Yeah, he's in his early 30s. I can't see how he's going to be as fast and elusive as he was when he was 25.
True.
Which is when he fought Carl Froch. When he fought Froch and Abraham, he was a very awkward, a very fast, and a very skillful. I think he's a southpaw as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of them, and he's probably still all of that now. I just don't think he is as much. Every fighter slows down with age, whether they've had wars or not. So I don't think he'll be quite as fast or quite as skillful as he was then. Whether he's still got enough to beat Degale, well, obviously we'll see. But no, I don't think Andre Dirrell is the same fighter he was back in 2009 or 2010.
Mm.
Well, if I might add, he did fight 3 times in 2014, so he's kind of getting the rust out of out of him, because he fought, I think, in August, and I think 2 more times. I think he even fought in December, I think. So
yeah.
I'm not saying he's the same, but it's not like he's coming off a long layoff either,
Yeah, but age is age. That's the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make. No fighter can ever be as good as they were 6 years ago. In all faculties, do you know what I mean? Some guys improve in certain areas when they get older, and there's some areas that you just can't improve on when you get older, and speed is one of them. I don't think there's any fighter on earth who's faster in their early 30s than they were in their mid-20s.
Yeah,
I suppose, yeah. That's good. Good analysis, Paul. Yeah, I will say on that one, I don't know if Dirrell will be the same. I don't think he will. But this is his last crack this is his last crack, really, isn't it? This is all or nothing for him. Because he's really wasted his prime years, hasn't he? He's wasted them. Fighting.
He has, yeah. He has.
He's not fought at all for a while. He then came back and he fought, Cream Puffs and, guys who he was supposed to be. And it's all come together for this one fight. He's got to really, put it all together, and we'll see if he can win this fight. If he doesn't win this fight, I don't see him having any career. I mean, at one point I thought his elusive style, the way he's got his, the way he uses athleticism, and don't forget, it's not often in the higher weights you see people who've got the skill set that he did have. I thought he'd give people like Andre Ward a really good fight, but I may have more belief in him than he does, because he obviously pulled out the Super Six when he was supposed to fight him, and said that he had brain damage, and now he's back in the boxing game. So I assume he doesn't have brain damage, and I'm therefore lying. So, well, I'll move on from that. We'll go on to the next question. Will Degale get a fair crack on the cards if this goes to the cards? Because last week, or the other weekend anyway, Ricky Burns got dicked on by Lawrence Cole, that dickhead of a ref, and which cost him the fight against Omar Figueroa, who shown himself up really to being just very crude and very, how can I say it, waiting for a loss against the first good fighter that he fights. Would you agree with that statement, and do you think he'll get a fair crack off the whip, Armando?
Well, I mean, the thing with that is, there was a little bit controversial. I thought McDonald beat Kameda, but obviously they didn't let that happen again. you don't a Heyman fighter or a PBC fighter doesn't get robbed twice in one or doesn't lose a decision twice in one televised card. Will he get a fair crack? No, he won't, because he's here in the States. He's in somebody else's backyard. He's fighting a Heyman fighter, a PBC fighter, and it goes with everybody. You're fighting a top-ranked fighter. You better make sure, you bring your A game. You're fighting a Degale fighter. You're fighting main events. It doesn't matter. It goes across the pond all the way. There's no favorite. There is favoritism, but it isn't like it's specifically PBC based. will he get a fair crack on the cards? He better make sure that there's no need for scorecards. That would be my best. That'd be my best advice to him. You know, because I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Paul, what are your thoughts? Do you think he'll get a fair decision if it goes to the cards?
I think he'll get a fair shake off the judges. It's the referee and whoever it is who's going to be getting the assignments. That's who I worry about, because some of these referees in America, and I know we can't talk because we get terrible reps here in England too, but some of these referees in America are just absolutely shocking. That guy who refereed the Burns-Figueroa fight, it's an absolute disgrace that guy even has a license to referee fights. Lawrence Cole, is that his name?
Yeah, Lawrence Cole.
If that guy gets this fight, then it's an absolute fucking joke. And he's not the only one. There's other guys too. There's Weeks. There's the Tony Weeks. He's terrible too. There's what's his face? Who's the guy the white guy who let Matisse near kill John Molina?
Oh, damn! He also was the referee in the Provodnikov Bradley fight and missed 3 knockdowns.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but he's a cunt anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure people listening know who I mean.
Yeah.
Just some of these referees are just disgraceful, and they don't let the home fighter get away with murder, and they don't let the away fighter do their thing.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's like a guy who's fighting 2 guys in there. So I think Degale has got to be very wary of the referee going out of his way to let Dirrell just spoil and steal the fight. I think the judges will be fair, and because, as we say, they gave McDonnell a controversial decision over Kameda, even though Kameda was in his backyard. He's Japanese, but he's pretty much an adopted Mexican, isn't he? Lives in Mexico, speaks Spanish, and he's loved by the Mexican fans. So I think the judges will be fair, but it's what the referee does in the ring on the night. If the referee goes out of his way to help Dirrell, then I think James is in for a really tough night, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. That referee we were talking about was referee Pat Russell. That's the one. You got to watch the Provodnikov Tim Bradley fight, because there's at one point, it's in the first round anyway. Provodnikov lands a sweet hook, lands right on the button, and Bradley falls into him and falls down, and he goes, no knockdown. He gets back up, falls back over, and then he gets back up again, and then he's like, yeah, it was no knockdown. Later on in the fight, Provodnikov lands a shot, and he sits down on the ropes. I mean, you couldn't make it up. He sits down on the ropes, and another time he knocks him. He lands another hook, and he runs. Well, not runs. He wobbles across the ring into the ropes again, and the ropes keep him up. Even at that point, what's his name shouts at ringside, Max Kalman, and the ropes keep him up. Well, that's a fucking standing 10-8 count, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Mate, that guy's not even the worst example. That Lawrence Cole, who I mentioned before, that guy refereeing the Burns Figueroa fight, that guy is a disgrace. That guy was pulling Ricky Burns' hand away from his face. Burns had his hands up to protect himself, putting his gloves up, and the guy kept pulling his gloves away. Yeah,
I saw that.
I mean, Figueroa could have landed a shot on Ricky Burns' temple and fucking knocked him out or crippled him. Even worse, all because Jackass kept pulling his hand away. It's a disgrace. These referees need strikes. They just need firing. In the UK, we get referees who are just incompetent. These guys are just flat out corrupt, in my opinion, some of these guys in America.
Yeah.
I really hope James doesn't get lumbered with one of these shit referees who fuck up his big chance.
I know. That could be a downside. Let's hope it's not him anyway. We'll move on to the next one. Last question is prediction. So what's the prediction, Armando? Who's winning?
You know what? This fight is probably going to stink.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's probably going to stink bad. Just the style clashes. It's just, it's like mixing shit with like some fucking any edible food. It could be a good fight. It could be Degale on his ass, sort of pressuring him a little bit. But I think Dirrell's gonna somewhat stink it out, and he's gonna win. Probably a split decision. It's going to go 12. Well, obviously, it's going to go 12. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Dirrell's going to stink it up. Split decision 12.
Split decision. Paul, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to go for Degale to win via stoppage. I don't think he'll knock Dirrell the fuck out or anything. I think Dirrell is going to quit in this fight. We said it earlier on. I think he's got no heart. I think he proved that the way he behaved in the Super Six, the way he had the fight against Carl Froch pretty much in the bag, and then threw it away by being so negative and then running. And then he, in my opinion, bitched out against Abraham because he gasped later in the fight and decided, I just want this fight over now. I really think Andre Dirrell, at some point in this fight, he's going to get hurt by Degale. I don't think he's as elusive as he once was. I think Degale's going to catch him. He's going to hurt him. And I think Dirrell he might get knocked down and he probably won't get up to beat the 10 count or something. He'll be able to get up. We'll be saying, why is he not getting up? Why is he not getting up? Oh my God, he's quit or something like that.
He might do the Malik Scott special.
Yeah.
That's the one,
special.
the Malik Scott special. You can buy that in takeaways and everything. You know what I mean? The Malik Scott special.
What we mean by that is what we mean is he'll get knocked down and then he'll get up too late and then protest. Say,
7,
oh man, I got
8, 9. I'm up. No, you're not. You know what I mean?
10, and then blame it on the referee afterwards and say, oh man, that's not fair. I got up. I beat the count. It's like, no, you didn't. You just quit.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be something like that.
Damn right.
The point is, I think James Degale is going to do it. He's going to bring the belt home, and it will be because Andre Dirrell shows no heart. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But I really think that Andre Dirrell is going to bitch out in this.
I'm going to, what am I going to say for this one? I think, I've put money on Andre Dirrell winning a decision. I just think away from home, it won't be the fight for James Degale. I think Dirrell will just do enough to win. I think it'll be really close. I think it'll be a horrible stylistically fight, just because of the way they both are. It'll be one for the purists. Literally, this is one for the purists. Watch for the jab, because there's going to be a lot of them. So that's my thoughts on this. I'm going to say Dirrell points. Armando's saying split decision, Dirrell points, and Paul's saying Degale wins via stoppage. So we'll see what happens, and we'll tell you what our post-fight thoughts are.